Good
Hey
morning.
guys.
Hey, happy sip day.
Happy sip day.
Always a good day when it's a sip day.
That's right.
What
So
do you
yeah,
want to talk
I
about?
had I got together with my family this weekend, and believe it or not, my two oldest nieces, they are starting to look at colleges. So my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they've pretty much all summer been like touring, up and down the East Coast, all these like great schools. They're super, super smart. So, they're looking at, the like the Penn States and Florida State and anyways, the very big schools. So we started having this conversation about saving for college and the different types of ways to save for college and then the cost of college. And I like almost fell off my chair when they told me the cost of college these days, in-state versus out-of-state, and just even like SAT scores, which, I don't know if you guys remember like what a good SAT score was when we went to school, but like, I mean, it's super competitive. But coming from a parent of three, wanting to save and do the best that we can do in preparation for our kids seems like for it's going to be forever before they go. My brother-in-law said he was like, I just wish I thought I was prepared, but like I'm not prepared enough. And I'm like, he's like upset about it. So I thought it would be really a good topic to talk about. How can we best prepare, save for college? Is there a magic number we should be putting away every month? Like I know we don't have like the crystal ball, but I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, now it's definitely one of my favorite topics and a topic that gets talked about often because, of course, most parents would like their kids to have a higher education, go to the college of their choice that, they work hard and they really want to go there. And then they look at the cost and they're like, well, we might need to consider something else because of that. Or here's your alternatives. And a lot of times that's student loans. But because we don't want kids graduating into a situation where they're always in debt, the best thing to do if you're a parent and that's your goal is to help pay for some or all of college is to use one of those tax advantage accounts that is specifically designated for college, and that's a 529 account.
Yeah.
And Katie, I know you have young daughters and have talked about 529s quite a bit, but why don't you just take us through, what your general thought and overview of what a 529 plan is?
Yeah, so they have a couple different varieties of what a 529 plan is. And I know what Julie's getting at too is just like how to even start planning. But the most obvious answer is a 529 because you just can't beat them when you talk about college, right? Just tax advantage plans. So they have a traditional type plan, which I personally have my kids in, or I have accounts for my two daughters. And really, what that is you defer an amount. You can, some states offer deductions. So Maryland has an affiliated plan. I believe it's T. Rowe Price, right? Is it still T. Rowe
No
Price?
Tiro now, it's a census.
That's right. That's right. There's been a bunch of changes. They had some
Yeah.
shifts, but yes. So clearly, I look at it a lot, right? But yeah, so you just kind of put an amount away after tax. You do get a deduction if you qualify for it, so that's always helpful if your state offers that. And yeah, then you can invest it. Personally, I think it's great because what it does is as you put that amount in, the power of compounding, it grows, right? You can do that based on your risk tolerance, which shifts. So I shouldn't say what mine is, but the idea is, right, you get more conservative as they get closer to college. It's very
Right.
similar to retirement savings, right? You might be more aggressive when you're younger and you have a little bit more play, get that power of compounding going, and then say, "Oh, I want to back it down." They also have target date funds similar to retirement plans where you can elect the year that your child is anticipated to go to college. And then, Nav, I know the question you get the most is, what if they don't go to college? So
Right.
here we are talking about the planning for college, but then the absolute opposite that parents fear is they start investing this money is, okay, well, now I made this financial commitment and I'm going to do this every year. And then, hey, what if they don't actually go? So now I'll let
Right.
you take over that answer.
No, it's a great question, and yeah, overfunding is a risk, but the risk has been diminished quite a bit because Congress and the government has made it much more friendly to get access to the funds. over time and to use it for more things. So one, you can use it for K through 12 education if they're in private school, and it was up to 10,000. Now you can do even more toward Roth IRA rollovers from after a certain period of time. There's a $35,000 cap. You can actually use money that's in the 529. It doesn't count towards their income cap because there's income cap and Roth contributions. So it can always be moved per year into that Roth IRA after they've hit certain numbers and times of age, how long the account's been open, and invested. So that's 35,000, really good benefit. So that's money that we know that can always stay for that child to be used and grow long term. And there's always the ability to shift it to other siblings, other family members, other a grandchild if the child doesn't end up using it at all. So there's different ways to use the funds, and you can use it for trade schools. You can use it for, well, one example is a client used it for golf school. They can use it for recreational schools like that as well, vocational schools, and you can also use it for schools overseas depending on what school for. So it's very flexible. The best benefit though is it grows tax free
Hmm.
and compounds tax. So you pay your tax up front. There's no federal tax deduction on contributions. Like Katie said, there could be a state deduction. In Maryland, it's 2,500 per person per learner. So for husband and wife, it's 5,000. So if you say, hey, and you're in Maryland, you say, what's a good place to start? And just say, hey, I want to make sure I'm putting some away, maybe enough to cover most or all of college. Maybe it's 5,000 a year. From age 0 to 18. That's going to grow to quite a bit of money. So that's like to just put that in new parents' minds and say, hey, you get a tax deduction, and it really helps pay and cover any future expenses for this. Um, so there's a lot of ways to, and then you can always take them if the child doesn't go to college, wants to use it for a home payment, for example, and say, hey, I'm not going to use this money for school, but I do want to have it. You can pay a 10% penalty just on the gain. So not the money that you initially put in, but just the gain. And then that money is theirs after that. So there's a lot of uses for it, but the best time to start is as soon as possible. And whatever that may be, whether it's age 0 or age 10, doing something is better than nothing because it gets that compounding started sooner.
Yep. And I think last note on the compounding, I wish I had Joe Breslin's handy dandy calculator out, his old school kind of guy that you'll see a lot. Really, it's simple math on a calculator. And it might be tough for you, but this is where you can lean on our team, right? Nav, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can have kind of hopes for your children, right? Do you think they're going to that large state? Do you think they're going to out of state large school like Penn State, Florida State, where you're a Maryland resident? Or are we starting with just maybe like a smaller school like a Towson, a Frostburg, things like that? And maybe you say, you know what? I want to meet in the middle so I don't leave them with debt. We can take today's cost, average it out, build it up with inflation, and then back into what an amount would be if you want to be 100% covered, 80% covered, 50% covered. We can help you find that number through either tools, through Wealth Vision, or just using simple financial calculator, using the calculations through that. So it sounds easy. The hardest part is contributing, but I don't think I've ever heard anybody who's made the commitment be upset that even if they've overfunded it, because just like you said, you really can use it on a lot of good stuff, equipment, things like that. So equipment,
Yeah.
I should say, related to your learning. Yeah.
Yeah, and the best place to start is if your child's born and you say let's just look at an in-state tuition, and then say let's put enough away for that. And if they do end up going out of state and it's more, you at least have likely half of what you need, and then that helps. But that's the place to start is look at what a cost is, and then use the calculator like Katie was just saying, and then add enough to hopefully hit that goal over a period of 10, 18 years, depending on when you start.
Oh, and one more pro tip for those saving, as Julie kind of we're talking about utilizing 529 plans and like, hey, where do I even start? I literally, judge me or not, on birthday invitations, I started putting a blurb and it was like, my children have so many toys. Like, thank you so much. We love that you've thought of us for a gift. Here's a link to their 529 if you'd like to do that instead. And you'd be shocked. Believe it or not, I implemented it after my first was born. My younger is 529. She's 2 years younger. So we're talking 2 extra years of contributions. Alex's is almost just as much as Bailey's
That's amazing.
because we got that first birthday, which, like, we were very fortunate and people were generous. And it's great. So even kind of utilizing your friends and family to say, "Hey, we appreciate it, but no toys. Let's skip the Barbies. Let's do a 529. Help us help them with college."
Yeah.
I could not agree
And
with that more. I do the same thing with my
that's
family.
great.
And
That's the way to do it.
yep, it really is.
Yeah. Good topic.
Yeah,
All
thank you
timely
guys
too.
so much.
We're about to start up with college in the fall.
I
That's right.
know. I know. Well, thank you guys. This was really helpful and hopefully we helped some listeners as well. But if we can be of assistance, kind of running those numbers for you, if you feel stuck, confused, worried, that's what we're here for. So definitely reach out to your advisor or your team here at Armstrong Dixon. So thanks you guys.
Bye,
Thanks, guys.
guys.
Yeah.